Assalamu alaikum. And that means, may God's peace and blessings be upon you and who you represent. This is Brother Qaadir. Words make people. We're not going to waste any time today. I want you to call a friend, a neighbor, a relative, a cousin, co-worker, someone, because we have a very special guest with us today. Alicia Purdy. We want to let you know early voting starts on the 23rd of October. Voting is on November 2nd. The preference may be there. Just don't think you vote once every 12 years. You have to vote many times within those 12 years. And we're here to allow for Alicia Purdy to really give it up. She's a journalist. She's a boxer. She has 5 children. She's 44 years old. Look, listen. She's ready. Welcome. How are you today, Alicia?
Thank you, Qaadir. I'm very excited to be here.
Excellent.
Excellent time today.
Well, we got a half an hour, and that half an hour goes by real fast.
Okay.
I want to make sure that you can share as much as you like to share with us today. And this is not your last time here. Be assured of that.
All right.
And we want you to make sure that you give as much information as you possibly can give out, and within this half an hour time, because half an hour goes by real fast. So, what encouraged you to, after all your existence with your children and being raised and wanting to get into becoming the mayor of the most popular district in the world?
Yes, Albany is absolutely what I consider to be the most influential city in the United States of America. Because think of New York City. We've got power, commerce, fashion, trade, and finances. And that seat of power is Albany, New York. So people tend to think that Albany, New York is small-bany, and we are a small city. My vision is to make Albany the greatest small city in America. And it can be done, but what the powers that be have allowed to happen is they've allowed people to fall into a deep slumber so they don't understand the power that they truly hold in Albany, New York. And my vision is to wake them up. My plan for Albany is called Operation Transform. So we'll just jump right in. Taxes, revenue, accessibility, neighborhood safety and policing, facilities, opportunities, resources, and management. Transform. And we're going to start to transform, starting with how we think of our city. We're going to start in the mind, where transformation begins. The reason why I wanted to run for mayor is because, first of all, I truly believe that all politics is local. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, they're not paving your streets. They're not cleaning your trash. They're not dealing with safety and policing in the city of Albany. They're not increasing our revenue in tourism. They're not coming up with great ideas for how to take care of people and to honor people. That's happening at the local level. That's your common council members, our legislative branch, that's the executive branch, which is mayor, and the judicial branch that we have here in the city of Albany. And so what I truly believe is that if you want to see the world change, you've got to run for office. You've just got to. And now more than ever, this is the time. People are unhappy, they're disenfranchised, they're struggling with poverty. Especially in the city of Albany, we've got blight, we've got safety issues, we've got police conflict in communities in the city of Albany, and it's at one of the worst and darkest times it's ever been. What better time for somebody to step up with a light to lead the way? And
yes.
So anyway, so my vision for Albany is called Operation Transform. You know what I say about Albany? Kathy wants to build back better. She wants to restart Albany. This is what I say. We're done putting spark plugs in the old jalopy and restarting the jalopy. We're done replacing a hose, and we're done rotating the tires on the jalopy. We're getting a new car. It's Operation Transform. So there you go.
Did you hear her? She said Operation Transform. Where did she get that from? She has 5 children. You know the transformer that can change from a car to a person, and that's what transforming your psyche, to understand that you have a person that's willing to make the changes along with you, if you put her in office, to be able to look at how we can get to where we need to go as a community. This is Words Made People. Community, the words in community are come, you, unit, knit it, unity. You want unity? You have to transform your mind and understand you have to have the person in there willing to do the things that she just stated, to be able to transform policy, regulations, and all the speculations that's been going on, to be able to change it to have a better situation in our environment where we live. Alicia, tell us what would be the first 2 or 3 things that you would change or want to put before you that you think is essential and necessary than anything else?
First thing I would change is term limits. We're done with legacy mayors in the city of Albany. 40 years around Sis Corning, and even Jerry Jennings was a well-loved mayor. No criticism there. But you forget where you come from when you become comfortable in your office, you should be on your feet. You should be pounding the pavement just like you did the first day of your campaign.
Yes.
You should be doing it the third time you run. So Kathy Sheehan committed that she would not run again after the last term, her second term. And so that's really the only thing I can agree upon, that she should not have run again. So now here she is running a third term. She lied. And what's happening is she's trying to set up a legacy in the city of Albany. And you become a monarch. We have this, we see it on the federal level. That's why we have term limits for presidents. We did not want a king. And now in Albany, we're about to be stuck with a queen if we don't vote this woman out. So what you want is you want an elected official who's a leader who puts people over politics. And what happens is a dirty game. It's a dirty game. And what happens is you do eventually become drunk with power. And after 2 terms in office as mayor, she's drunk with power, but she was already the city treasurer. She's been a long-term politician here in the city of Albany. She's not from New York. I don't know if you know. She's from Chicago. She does not understand the way things work in the city of Albany. So first thing I would change, term limits. Whether that would be 2 terms or 3, I think the case would have to be made to me about what could be accomplished in 2 terms versus 3.
That's what I was going to ask.
3 is a hard stop, though.
Sure.
Hard stop 3. That gives you 12 years.
Right.
And if you can't do something positive in 12 years, you're a loser and you should leave. So that would be my first thing.
Sure.
The second thing I would start to do is bring leaders that I have met throughout the city through my tenure here, but also specifically on the campaign trail. I cannot tell you how many human beings are doing good work in the city of Albany, but they want to stay under the radar because the city of Albany has encroached upon them with the City of Albany brand, and they put up a pop-up barbecue, and now everyone's got hot dogs, and now they want a picture for their press release. People see this, they understand, and they're mad, but they don't know what to do about it. They're done with it. So how many nonprofits, I couldn't even tell you how many nonprofits I've talked to in the city of Albany, are just people. I'll give you one example. The Street Soldiers, they're way downtown in Academy Park, down by City Hall, actually, right on Kathy's front doorstep. Homeless people, food insecure people, or just people who need a hot meal for that day. They wander in, and this started with one lady ladling out some soup into a cup on a street corner because that's what her heart was for. Could they use tents? Could they use tables? Sure. Do they want the City of Albany's brand on it? No, they don't. And so the next thing I would do is I would bring in the leadership, people who already have their hearts in the work. Not paid people. I'm talking about people who are already pushing for this. They're already hustling to get their own money. They're already doing these things to say, okay, you have a sphere of influence. Let's see what the City of Albany can do to scaffold you and build an infrastructure without overtaking you. I'm a believer in small government interference, where a government's role is to support and facilitate people, not rule over them, and not be the endless bread and butter of the people, but to help people. The same thing, teach a man to fish and he eats for a lifetime. That's the kind of perspective I have. And of course, people do need help, and there's a different approach to those needs. But I'm talking about overall, what government should be here to do is to support and serve people. And Albany has not had that for 100 years. Single party in rulership in 100 years in the city of Albany. Shame on that. It should not be that way. But really what it is they've lulled the human beings that live here and that have the real power into a deep slumber. And like I said, I'm here to wake them up. So that's number 2, bring in the leaders. The next thing is we're wiping out Kathy's cabinet. Sheriff Hawkins, you got to go. I've already said that publicly anyway, but all these people that have done nothing, I want a full and total accounting of the management and the deliverables from the people that have been appointed by Kathy Sheehan in the City of Albany. Water Department, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at the people. I'm not talking about the backbone, the DGS and the police. I'm talking about the appointed people whose job it was to bring deliverables with our tax dollars in the City of Albany and who have repeatedly failed. I don't foresee a lot of them sticking around. I'll be honest with you. There are people whose hearts are in the work and they're here for more than a paycheck, and I'm looking to seek those people out and work with them.
So you mentioned specifically Chief Hawkins. What would you bring in? How would you apprise the city of what we really need in order to have police reform, operation, as you stated, transformation?
Yeah.
And so what would you suggest? What would you recommend?
So I've met Chief Hawkins a number of times, and he's a lovely friend and neighbor. When he applied for his job in Akron, Ohio several months ago.
That's where Kathy Sheehan got her degree from.
Yeah, so what I realized was this. Kathy Sheehan actually is a graduate of Albany Law School. But what I realized was this. Chief Hawkins, he doesn't want to be here. So I wouldn't use the words I'm fired. What I would say is, Chief Hawkins, let's release you to go live the life you envision for yourself back in Michigan.
In the Midwest.
Midwest, whatever that is that you'd like for your career. I say you're free to go, my friend. in terms of a police chief, there are two schools of thoughts here. So Common Council President Corey Ellis has put out that we should have a public safety commissioner, which would be a civilian over sworn in law enforcement. I actually don't support that. It's been a failed endeavor repeatedly. And what I would like to see, however, is transformation for sure in the way that the Albany Police Department interacts with the community. This is decades of a problem. This actually isn't Kathy Sheehan's exclusive fault, even though I blame her for making it worse or doing nothing. But one of the things I'd like to see when it comes to a police chief, I'm not looking for color, creed, religion. None of that matters to me. What matters to me is somebody whose heart is in the work for the city of Albany, who wants to keep their roots here, who wants to stay here, and also who can bridge gaps. One of the things Chief Hawkins hasn't done is he's really failed to lead. And that's what's been a problem. He's really taken the lead of Kathy Sheehan. And if you talk to any of the police officers, what they're gonna say is the real police chief in Albany is Kathy Sheehan. It's not Eric Hawkins. And so what I'm looking for in somebody who can lead and bridge gaps between communities and law enforcement is somebody who will push back against me, who's a civilian and doesn't know what's going on inside the internal affairs of the police department. I want somebody to check and balance out the authority. That matters to me because right now what we've had is a massive think tank in City Hall, and they move like one solid organism and they all agree with each other. I have sat in these Common Council meetings. Not only are they mind-numbing, but one of the most shocking things to me, especially as a journalist who really values a check and a balance in the city of Albany, if there is disagreement in the legislative process, it ultimately is not reflected in the legislation. So they may tussle, they may have a different opinion, but what they'll do is they'll vote present, they just won't show up. They very rarely vote no. It almost never happens. It's not never, but it's rare. And then what happens is the mayor signs off on it. And so this is a huge part of the equation of why we've gotten to where we are. And so again, nothing bad to say about Chief Hawkins. I heard he recently got a blue scooter and was heading up in the 12th ward where he actually lives, as far away from downtown as you can possibly get. But I think that there's a better fit for the job. I don't care if it's a man, I don't care if it's a woman. I don't care about their color, I don't care about their religious background, I don't care about their sexual preference. What I'm saying is the right person for the job, first of all, is out there. Second of all, they've got to have a vested interest in creating a better Albany and a vision for transformation. And they have to be willing to stand up and do the job they were appointed to do.
Excellent. So you heard her. Listening audience, we want to allow for you to get information from Alicia, how you can contact her, make suggestions, make recommendations, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook. She's going to share that information with you because I'm quite sure you may have questions as to why you should vote for her opposed to Kathy Sheehan so we can have a better district, a better Albany, a better understanding of our purpose here and place in this environment. Please share with us how people can contact you, get information, get more information, get your actually split of what you recommend and suggest, and how we're going to move forward and what you recommend for the terms. Because our presidents of the United States of America have 2 terms. Is 2 terms enough for a president to do what they have to do? You recommended just a moment ago. Maybe they need 3 terms, maybe 12 years, or whatever it may be. Because it's something you really got to look at. Because it seems as if they just got into office, and in the last 2 or 3 years, they're campaigning for another term. So therefore, technically now, they can do as Obama and maybe a couple others. They may have 8 years if they get a second term in from the 4 years that they normally would have. So please share with us, Alicia, information our listeners and audience can get from you so they can apprise you of their thinking.
Okay, so yes, I do. Please email me. First of all, you can go to transformalbany.com. My actual email address is I'll give it to you, it's alicia@aliciapurdyformayor.com. But that can be hard to spell. And so just go to transformalbany.com and hit contact. That's it, and you can fill out the little form. On Transform Albany is a detailed breakdown of every single letter of Operation Transform. There's a video up there where I explain each one. I present the ideas I have for the city of Albany in all those letters that I named under the word transform. All of it's there. You can donate there. You can get a lawn sign there. You can ask me a question there if you have a question. You can set up a meet and greet with me. I'll come speak to your community. I'll answer questions in person. I don't hide behind a keyboard.
Excellent.
I don't hide behind
Excellent.
anything. I'm very accessible, which the incumbent mayor cannot say. People know she avoids people, and I think that's what's made her be so out of touch in the city of Albany. Now, whether or not we need 2 terms or 3 terms, one of the, like I said, somebody would have to make the case to me for it to be 3, because I am leaning toward 2. However, if someone said, look, it took this long to transform this difficult issue, and you should need to keep going, okay, but let me give you a little more vision for transformation here. One of the things that I've not seen anybody do in the city of Albany in the past 100 years of my research and study, my conversations and interviews, I'm a journalist, this is what I do, I dig all day. I've not seen one administration flow in a natural way to another one when the terms have ended, because somebody from underneath has been raised up to lead. So one of the things I would love to see in the city of Albany, even starting as young as high school and youth, would be to start to raise people up with the thought DNA of a successful administration, so that when it's my turn to step down, maybe there are 5 people who could legitimately run for office from across parties, but they still want to carry the torch of what we've done well in the city of Albany. And so maybe it's because I'm a mother. What you do with your children is you instill in them wisdom, knowledge, advice, experience. And you say, here are lessons I've learned. Here's what hasn't worked. Let's look into history. Here's what hasn't worked in my history. Here's what has, oh, you're faced with this conflict. Well, here's what we've done before. Here's what hasn't worked, and here's what has. This is no different than a parent with children. And leadership is very much the same way, in that you bring people alongside of you that say, okay, we are, our united vision in a family is for the family. Our united vision in the city is for the city of Albany. We're a family in the city of Albany. And to say, let's work together to find what is working, and I'll teach you what I did, so that when it's my turn to move along, there are people to pick from that are known in the city of Albany. They've already done good work. There are people who understand the law, statutes, and ordinances. There are people who have had conversations. They've been out there with other people in the city. And the infrastructure we put in place, they're able to continue forward. That's really my vision, is not you come in and now you have a total blank slate again and you don't know anybody. And to me, it's just another step backward. I would love to see the city of Albany set up for success beyond my administration.
Excellent. So you hear this now. I like Operation Transformation, because there are people that haven't been in the mix. There are people that haven't been in leadership that need to be in a position, a situation, an operation where they can transform what wasn't to what should be for everybody, for all human beings, as was stated. Not just for African Americans, Europeans, those that's in between or outside, or people of color, whatever it may be, but for all human beings. Operation Transformation gives me the impression that, yes, Alicia, if she wins, is going to be in office for 2 terms, maybe a 3rd if it's presented, probably to see the necessity for a 3rd term. However, now, in the first 2 terms, she's going to be able to implement the policies to make sure those things that are not appropriate for all human beings to be put in place, and looking forward for those that's going to take over after she leaves to continue the process going, knowing that it's legitimate, knowing that it's substantial, knowing that it's good for all human beings. It's not just for one group. All the systemic things that's in place, that's in HR and the laws that's not correct or whatever it may be, looking forward to making those changes that you know need to be changed. And here she is speaking about Operation Transformation. I like it. I appreciate it. Give us more, because our time is running out. You spoke quite a bit, and we want you to share more of how you see, maybe not the current situation, but more of what you plan to do. And as you stated on the email that you have, she's going to have a litany of information that's there for you to check out, make suggestions, recommendations, and she's inviting you to come to your community center, to your grassroots organization, to wherever you are, to come and speak before October 23rd, before November 2nd. Take advantage of that. Hear her out. Just don't stick with what is necessary, that you think is necessary, with whoever you have in your mind, without hearing from the other person. Don't go there. Please hear her out. Hear what she has to say. Ask her the questions. There's no such thing as a hard question or no. Ask the questions that's on your mind in the manner in which you can ask them. She's a mother. Be assured she knows what it's like to be a mother and have 5 children and to take on this position here and to be a journalist. And she's going back 100 years to do all that research. She must do a whole lot of work when them children are asleep in order for her to do that. And you mothers know that. Alicia, continue, please.
Okay, so yeah, if you come to my website, transformalbany.com, there is, on the menu right there, it says Operation Transform.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is tap on that, and everything is there, and you click on that, and it takes you here. I'm just going to give you one idea about, in Albany, we are a living organism filled with a lot of different people,
Yes.
and we've got to be able to move all together as much as you can to address our many needs.
You said that, because my son was here with me, and he says, wow, this place, I've never seen a place like this. You got every ethnicity here? This is like a place I've never seen before. You got everybody here.
We're a true melting pot. We are. We're
melting pot? You call something?
We are. We all come in like this, like ingredients into the soup. And here we are all living together. And one of the things that I see, I'll just give you this little idea. We were talking about in a different conversation, I was talking with somebody about bringing revenue into the city of Albany.
Uh-huh.
Bringing revenue into the city of Albany, the Albany City Cultural Bazaar. This is something that people would be attracted to when they come in, where maybe down on the riverfront, people come down from every culture. You can get food, you can have music, you can watch dancing, whatever that is that you celebrate. You can sell bolts of cloth, whatever these things are that you do in your culture. I would love to celebrate that. And I thought maybe it's once a month, maybe it's once a quarter, where tourists come in because they know the capital city of the state of New York represents this great state. But anyway, there's ideas like that left and right all over my website. So come take a look if you would. Yes, I've done the digging. Yes, I sit up late at night after my kids are in bed, and sometimes I get up early in the morning after my kids are awake for school. But I'm committed to the city of Albany, and I'm committed to shaking up the status quo. I'm committed to coming after Kathy's job and making sure she gets fired for being a failure in the city of Albany. I'm committed to representing the people. I'm committing to upholding the worthiness and value of every single life in Albany and making sure those lives are protected, provided for, and making sure that those lives are equally elevated in the city of Albany, because when one of us suffers, we all suffer, but we can transform together.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So we're going to go to that email, and we're going to find out how we can contribute toward understanding the real psyche of Alicia, because she wants to convince you and let us know that she is the one that can do this transformation.
Ask me hard questions. I invite the hard questions, because you know what? You should, in my opinion, pin your candidate to the wall and find out who they are. And I get a lot of softball questions when I'm around Kathy. They ask me garbage questions, and as a journalist, I tell them all the time, it's a garbage question. Here's how I would put it. Back that woman into a corner. And me too.
See,
no, I embrace it to myself. Yeah.
That's a boxer talking now. Back you into the corner now.
Lure me into the corner.
So I have to ask Alicia. Alicia, is there anything that Kathy has done that you confirm?
Yes. She said she wouldn't run again.
Since her initiation as a mayor.
Yes, she said she wouldn't run again. That's the number one thing I affirm, that she should not have run again and for another term. I've actually really given this thought to give you a serious answer. Is there something that Kathy Sheehan has done well? I cannot find it. I'll be perfectly honest with you, because she has an agenda that's outside the people of the city of Albany, and my agenda is, unfortunately, diametrically opposed. Why am I so opposed to her when my focus is the people of Albany?
What has she done for the rich? What has she done for the rich?
Okay, let me tell you this.
What has she done for the poor?
Okay.
What has she done for the middle class?
So she's taxing everybody equally, apparently. One of the things that, if you notice, and I have noticed this, so I'm a citizen of the world. I've traveled the world. I've been in a number of different countries in my life.
Beautiful.
And one
That's
of
the
the
best
things,
education.
it brings you really, right, it makes you very well-rounded, although people get mad that I haven't spent my whole living, breathing days in the city of Albany kicking rocks down the road. Well, actually, I've traveled the world. But anyway, one of the things that I'm going to say here, and it's an unpopular thing to say, when you look at Kathy Sheehan, and she talks about, on 2014 in her original opening statement after she had been elected, she said that social justice and equity would drive her campaign. This is where we are with social justice and equity, neither of which, social justice is not the same thing as civil rights, and equity is not the same thing as equality. And so what those two terms, is they are shifting sand, and they are manipulated by the person who bears those terms, rather than equality, which you can take to court, all the way to Supreme Court. Same thing with civil rights. You can adjust laws around those, but you cannot with social justice. You cannot with social justice and equity. And so when you look around at Kathy, she's a do what I say, not what I do type of person. So she walks around unmasked constantly. I'll just give you one example. Taking pictures with kids in masks. She walks around and talks about how she affirms the black community. Except the Common Council has a large array of color on it. However, those are elected by the people. Kathy Sheehan's appointed people other than Eric Hawkins. The people that she travels and packs with, 100% of them are white men. That's a problem for me. Not because I'm apologizing for being a white woman. It's because I'm a citizen of the world.
Yes.
And I see that there are qualified, excellent people whose heart is in the city of Albany, and I don't just see in one color. And so it has really bothered me that, look, if you want to say, I only like white people, I only travel with white people, that's a whole different battlefield. What I'm saying is, stop saying that you care about one thing and you're doing entirely another. That's performative. That's social justice and equity. And so I'm calling Kathy out as a performative phony in the city of Albany. And what I'm saying is we have to do better than this. She has no representation of what the city of Albany really looks like in her administration. And that bothers me. And so
Alicia,
I'm putting that out there to you.
Alicia, you're good, Alicia. And so we have 2 minutes, Alicia.
Okay.
I'm going to take one of those minutes, okay?
TransformAlbany.com.
Because I want to let everybody know, even though you may see us close together here, and we're not masked up, no, we're 6 feet away.
We are.
Understand the technology of the camera and how the camera can transform us as close together. I'm saying to you, be aware, COVID is real. Be conscious. Stay sharp. Stay safe. Stay masked up. Stay your distance. Don't believe the hype. You get all the information from around the world. Make the final decision. Alicia, you got a minute and a half, please.
Okay. So the final thing I'm going to say is this. As a journalist, I firmly believe that the pen is mightier than the sword. Come November, you're going to have a pen in your hand. This is not our final chapter. In the city of Albany, we get to write our own future with the simple circle with a pen. That's it. You say in November or October 23rd, or whether you use an absentee ballot, you will have a pen in your hand. We don't need to go to literal war to get this woman out. The pen is mightier than the sword. This is not your final chapter, Albany. We can write our own future, but we're going to have to do it together. And the rules of engagement here are voting. It's not protesting. It's not talking on a building. It isn't. The way that the world changes is local elections. So you get your pen and you get into battle mode and you vote Kathy out. It's Alicia Purdy for mayor.
Did you hear Alicia? Alicia touched my heart. Why? Because she read the Quran. The Quran said that the pen is much more significant than anything else. Because once the ink dries, you can't erase it. That's why you have to think, because in the word think, this is words make people. In the word think is the word ink. Be careful of what you say, because you won't be able to erase it. In the word think is the word ink. In the word ink is the word in. She went in today. She went in today. We're going to call her back. We're going to have to have her back because I like her swag. I like the way her spirit is. I like what she's saying. She's very significant in what's necessary for us to understand. So next time, we're going to have more questions. You're going to write 518-779-5893 for some questions for me to ask her. And we're looking forward for you to always making sure you stay tuned to Words Make People. Thank you for tuning in today. May God's peace and blessings be upon you. Assalamu alaikum.